There's still 2 more that there will be.
Yeah.
So hopefully
one of them
Captain
better
Falcon.
be Captain Falcon.
I think
And
Wiggler
the other
as a
one better be
character
Matthew
is
Lillard.
quite silly.
Just
Matthew
I can't remember
Lillard.
who I was talking to. Oh, it was the people on my study abroad. They just told me that the Scooby-Doo movies were bad, and I just it's so hard
You had to
fight
argue.
a
Yeah.
battle when you're in the minority, but you're like, I truly
But I
will die
know
on
It's
this.
like,
that
I'm correct.
Yeah.
Like, if I die here, I'm going to be greeted by God, and he's going to say, you were right.
You were right. He's going to shake your hand and give you a big old kiss on your mouth.
Oh,
At least that's
glory,
the God I
glory, hallelujah is what I have to
But-
say to that.
Yeah, amen, brother, on this fine Sabbath day. You're not listening on the Sabbath. You might be.
You
But
could
you're
be, just
probably
not the same one that we're
the same one that
recording
we're
on.
recording, yeah. You're listening on Monday, probably, because it's Man Cave Movie Night Monday. Jared, take it away. Welcome back, Jared.
Welcome back, me. Welcome back, you,
Let's
to another
back
episode of Man Cave
me.
Movie Night.
Let's give Jared a round of applause because we missed him.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Clap
That's really
if you're
sweet.
driving. Not if
Yeah.
you're listening
If you're
and
at
you're
your
not driving.
desk,
Yeah,
you don't have to.
If you haven't mastered the hold the steering wheel with your knee so that you can clap to our character introductions every episode of
every
this
so often.
podcast, then you don't
You're
deserve
missing
your
out.
license.
All
Okay,
right.
Jared.
Well, thanks for having me back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We're inviting
having you
You're-
back.
You're, our
welcome.
longest running guest host
Guest?
on the show.
Well, I'm happy to be here again.
Friend of the pod, Jared.
I got the shirt you guys sent me
Oh, nice.
as a
nice.
thank you for
Shout
my
out to Sick Prince for the
my help.
custom.
Yeah,
Your
for
help.
the
For your
episodes where you
enthusiasm
were a
and
featured
interest. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy to be back. It was a long trip abroad for Jared. It was great. It was fun. It was exhausting, and I loved the episodes. I listened to them.
One of them
And
you
so I
were
was
in.
gonna- One of them I was in
Yeah,
because
you
we
talked.
we were smart about it.
Yeah, we were smart about it.
Oh, and then there was one that I was in and I talked, and my voice just sounded off.
Yeah, there was some- I think you were
you
just
were
sick or
probably
something.
sick, yeah.
Yeah,
It's the altitude
that's true.
difference.
Yeah, that's right.
Altitude difference.
Yeah, when you get down by the ocean and you can actually breathe in the air instead of the high altitude Utah air.
Yeah, well, it's like when you put a
If you
balloon
could
into
call it
like a
air.
refrigerator and it gets smaller. That happens to your vocal cords as well, but with altitude.
Interesting and reversed.
Right.
Right.
So cool.
Well, I'm excited to be back.
We're
I was
excited- yeah, I'm excited
I was
to-
gonna do a little let's recap Jared, but I listened.
Yeah.
I listened
No,
to the
you-
podcast.
you are recapped.
So there's nothing there. But because I was in Europe, they do things a little bit differently over there. I don't know. Did you guys know that?
I did
hadn't
not know
heard.
that. I've actually never heard of or been to Europe, so
I hadn't heard
please
the news.
explain.
I've heard of Europe, but it had been described to me as identical to the United States of America. So this is news.
They just like to do things just a little different. Sometimes they drive on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
Sometimes they talk in a fake language.
Oh, yo,
A fake one.
I'm British. I'm
British.
I'm
British.
You want a bottle of water? Is that what they would say?
They
They'd
said
be
that
like-
all the time. Well, that is one thing that was different. You go to a restaurant, you're like, "Can I get some water?" And they're like, "Rock,
What
bubbly
kind?
or still?" And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
"Neither. Just give me some tap water." Jeez,
You want some bubbly or some
because
still?
they're trying to give me a bottle of water.
You want some fizzy water? Fizzy drink? No
Like,
fizzy
no,
drink for me
dude.
today.
No fizzy
No.
drink for me today.
I love
I
that
love
guy.
him so much.
He's so
Hey.
incredibly wholesome. You see Eric Andre commented on that one that you shared, Niall, on Instagram?
No.
He just said, "What is a fizzy drink? Like, what the F is a fizzy drink?"
That's sick.
Well, I thought I would take a little bit of that back with me.
Oh.
We've fallen into a rhythm, guys.
We have.
A rhythm of reviewing.
Yeah, maybe.
And
even
I'm
a rut.
here to switch
No,
that
not
up.
a rut. Do we not have a cold open?
Cue the intro.
A warm open, rather.
Do we not have a cold open? The intro.
And welcome back to Man Cave Movie Night.
That
Wow.
silence. Let me just say, when we're all silent, it helps so much with editing both the video and the audio.
'Cause
So I
it's so
appreciated
down.
that we were all, there's no waveform. So that
Right,
was cool. You
let's
guys
do
didn't
that.
hear it
Let's-
because you were listening to a music song that Niall made. But for
Yeah.
us, it was silence.
Yeah.
Quite cool.
Well, we're gonna change it up.
Oh.
We're gonna change up how we do things. Our original plan was to talk about The Flash. But I don't
it's
think any of
real
us were
mid.
real excited about that.
I don't think
opportunity.
any of you listening
No.
or viewing were
Nobody
excited about that idea.
I'll toss in a quick review. It's one of the ugliest movies I've ever seen in my life.
I
visually.
agree. I would say that I had fun with it. Niall and I think both gave it a 4, which is by far way higher than anyone I've seen. Everyone else has given
Yep.
it half and 1 stars.
Yeah, threes and
Which is
twos
fine.
and-
You know, I totally get why people might not like it, and that's totally fine. I've always loved The Flash, but
And
it is ugly. It is a dumb,
honestly,
ugly movie.
That's
But I
all
thought it
we'll
was
say
fun.
about The Flash.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. I could not care less.
Yeah,
So,
who cares?
yeah. So, in that vein, in that train of thought, because we're not doing Flash, Jared.
In that vein, yeah, I didn't think it would be a good idea to do the same thing because I'm on this European mindset.
yeah.
And so
You're on this European mindset, bruv.
I'm on this European mindset.
Oh, don't talk about movies.
We're gonna talk about movies.
You want some still or poppy water? You want it to be bubbly?
Paul, we're going to talk about movies.
I
Paul.
really apologize to all our British fans.
Movies, I
We
love
promise
them. I don't want
we're
to
not
talk
being
about
racist
movies.
to you. We love you. This is impersonations
out of
of
love.
endearment. Yeah, it's.
Yeah,
I
I
just
have a
spent-
British uncle, so I am allowed to.
So what we're gonna do instead? Let's get back on track. On track like the trains they have all throughout Europe.
Oh, very
Yeah.
nice.
Are
Where
you
was
going to
it?
be like this?
Yeah, I
from
was gonna
now
say
on?
one more
Is
time.
this-
Can you just remind
I'm
us
like-
where you did a study abroad? I just cannot seem to quite remember.
I was all
Was
over
it just
Europe.
one country? Oh, it was across an
No,
entire
I
continent.
was all over Europe.
Wow, that's really,
I was
You know what
jumping
I've
around.
heard?
really impressive. Do you
I've
have
heard
like
that they do
anyone you're
things a
dating?
little
They
differently.
do things a
around
little
there.
bit
They do
different
things
over
a
there.
little
They do
different.
things a little bit different across the pond.
No.
So what I wanted to do is have a little bit of return to form. We used to pick a topic
We still do.
and just come up with fun, creative questions that we could have open conversations about. Get really creative, have a good time. But I wanted to do that, but this time, no topic. That's right.
Wow.
Free for all.
Oh,
That's an American
free
way.
for all.
That's
brawl.
the American way,
Yeah.
baby.
That's
That's
European change up, but still bringing in the
American
USA
twist.
demolition derby style chaos and anarchy that we want.
That's right. So,
So no topic, Jared. What could that possibly mean for the format of this episode? What will it look and sound like?
well, we all brought in some questions. We're going to take turns going through the questions. Look, that sounds
And you're
sounds
telling
familiar.
me you're telling me they're unrelated questions?
They are unrelated, but
Well, they're related in
before-
that they are about entertainment.
yeah,
I
of
would
course,
imagine.
right.
It's not going to
You
be
never
like,
know.
what
I'm
are
not coming in like,
You
hey guys, what are
never
your predictions
know.
for
yeah, what's happening
for
with the
Olympics next
socioeconomic
year?
situation of Turkey?
Oh man, I would love it if I knew
Turkey,
that.
the animal, not the country.
Yeah, that's a much more understandable question. I can go first, unless you guys want to say more about it.
No, I
Just
think-
because my question is like a
Oh,
hee ha hoo ha.
For those
Coming
of you
at
that
ya.
aren't watching this on YouTube, Lucas is furiously shaking his hands just at the camera,
Yeah, but I think you can
like
see it's
he's
going
like he
so
has
fast.
wet hands, and there's no paper towel in the bathroom, so
trying
he's
to-
just flicking water off
But
of his
flick the
fingers.
water.
I think I'm moving my hands
Du hast.
fast enough that you can hear the speed, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
it's showing up
no
a
doubt.
little bit
Wait,
on my.
do it one time without talking. Let's see if we can. Yeah, that's fast.
You could hear. You
That's
could.
fast.
That
real
was pretty
fast.
fast, and you could hear it.
Yeah.
So my question is,
yeah.
you can't use any sort of sources to assist you in this question either. You just
course.
have to, off the top of your head. So, I'm gonna do Niall first because I'm gonna have a separate question for each of you,
Oh,
just
wow.
so that you
Exciting.
can't be thinking about it while the other person.
I
If you guys
appreciate
follow Letterboxd on social media, this is what they do.
Yeah.
They'll walk up to people, celebrities, filmmakers, and they'll say, "What are your top 4 favorite movies?" Niall, that's your question. Just right off the top of
4
your head. We did a
favorite movies.
favorite movie episode a while ago, but might have changed.
Mm-hmm.
And just the first four that come to your head. So
Yeah, the first 4 that come to my head, this is an excellent question. The first 4 that come to my head right now are Hunt for the Wilder People.
nice.
Oh.
Let's say
Kevin James's Here Comes the Boom.
no,
That's
I'm gonna
just
say
immediate.
I'm gonna say Hot Fuzz.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
And then I'm sorry, I'm so slow. The Way Back.
Nice.
And Avengers Infinity War.
Interesting.
Okay.
Wow, nice.
That's a good
cool.
4.
Very cool top
Even
4.
if those do change, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's the
a
4
list
right
to be
now.
proud of.
Yeah, no,
And
it's good.
there's only one of those that I know is on my list of top 10 movies that we did in that
That we did,
episode.
yeah.
So
Which
yeah,
which
I'm
one?
not
Hunt for the
sure.
Wilder People.
That would
I
be
think
Hunt
just
for the Wilder
yep.
People. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
You were quick with that one.
All right, Jared, here's your question.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it.
Good. Least favorite 4 movies. 4 least favorite movies you've ever watched.
Wow.
So
really
opposite
taking
end.
me as the villain of the podcast. Give Niall the positive one.
The positive one, yeah. Well, we
I'm
got
gonna answer like one of those videos. Ooh, on TikTok, you know. Oh, yeah, really hitting me with that. Okay, yeah, ooh, that's a great question. Okay, yeah, I should have known. Saw the Letterbox people.
Like
John
John Hamm
least,
at a red carpet premiere thing.
For least favorite. Well, first of all, I have to go with my heart. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That one I just have. I think it's offensive to me. And what they did with it. I'm going to go, number 2, I'm going to go The Greatest Showman. I really hate that movie.
Those are some
3,
spicy.
which honestly, I heard the guy before me, he was singing about this for one of his favorites. That's 2001, A Space Odyssey. And for...
Bold. You're pissing people off with
Dude,
this list.
there is someone out
But I
there
love
with
it.
these 4 in their
As their-
letterbox
as their
favorites.
favorites,
yeah.
Oh, I had one, and let's go Fant 4 Stick. Those are my
good pick.
those are my
That's
4
a
least
great
favorite,
pick.
Yeah,
and those are
that's
very
one-
much like Jared's least favorite.
They're
you know?
definitely on
Yeah.
the bottom.
Yeah.
Like if
No,
you looked
you're-
at my
you're uniting
letterbox,
the country with that last one.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Those are my half stars, I think, on Letterboxd.
Nice. All right, well, right back at you again, Jared. Top 4. Didn't see
Top
that
4.
coming, did you? Now you have to do the
Oh.
favorites right back at you.
Oh
Throwing
my
you,
gosh.
throwing you for a
Yeah,
loop.
that's great. Let's go with number 1, Back to the Future. That
Nice.
one I always feel safe saying it's
Back
on
to
my
the Future
top 4.
1.
Yeah, let's just go Back to the Future 1, but it'll include all of them
Yeah, sure.
for me. Let's go with shout out to Kel. I'm gonna say 21 Jump Street
Oh,
because when I put that on my top 10 movie list, she made a deal about it.
What was the deal?
She just brought up that she didn't agree with it. I'm like, well, it's my list, Kel.
Didn't agree with, with it being on your list.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
rocks.
Yeah, she's the best. That one just brings a lot of happiness and warmth to my heart.
I
I'm
need
gonna
to
put
rewatch
Fantastic Mr. Fox up there.
Mm.
Same deal. Just makes me happy. Love it so much. I'm gonna go with for the last one. Oh, I'm gonna go.
Niall,
with
don't look
the-
anything up. You can't be looking anything up.
Oh, I'm not. I was
Okay, I was
responding
like-
to it.
I'm gonna go with The Nice Guys.
Oh, of course. Yeah, Nice Guys.
But
Great.
but on deck is Paddington in Paddington.
Paddington. Oh, interesting. Paddington 1 or 2, which is better?
2. I think Paddington 2 is better, but I
Both
watch
are.
Paddington 1 more. Right.
Nice.
Paddington 2 made me cry.
Nice. I
Like-
still haven't seen that.
Big old tears. Well, I also saw, as you guys know, I basically had dinner with Hugh Grant. I saw him in a train station.
From afar.
And, you know, he's, of course, the antagonist of the second one. So, happy to...
And
happy to-
also, D&D movie.
and also D&D movie. Happy to shout out my boy, Hugh.
Hugh.
It was good to see you, Hugh.
It was good to see you.
Thanks for listening.
Yep, friend of the
Shout out
pod.
to Hugh.
Very good friend of the pod. And also, Paddington 3 comes out next year. It's going to have Pedro Pascal in it. It's called Paddington in Peru.
Paddington
Yeah.
in Peru.
Isn't that fun?
I'm
Stoked.
pumped.
That will be very fun.
Love me some Peru.
All right, Niall. Bottom 4.
Bottom 4. Okay. Truly, the only one that immediately comes to my mind is Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Really? Wow, that's funny.
What about
movie
this?
I
made
didn't
me
like it.
viscerally
but I didn't
angry.
hate it. Yeah.
About this
Yeah.
recent one you just saw in theaters.
No, loved it.
Which one?
Loved it. Loved that one. Transformers.
Transformer. Yeah, you loved
I didn't
almost
like it.
everything about
I
it.
loved almost all
Oh,
of
I
it.
see. I see.
Do you know the little change that they did there, Jared?
I heard.
Okay.
Yep.
I heard.
Yep.
I just saw Niall's review and it was negative.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
there
thought
were
he
2
hated it.
reviews, and I needed to clarify that a little better because I did one review
Gotcha.
for the whole movie
For
and
the
other
movie and
review
one
for the last
just
10
for the
seconds
10
of the
seconds.
movie.
Yeah.
I see.
So I made an
okay.
edit later that made that a little more clear.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're great. Geez, it really is so hard for me just because I repress these.
Yeah.
I don't know if this counts, but what was that one that was called from the Guillermo del Toro Netflix thing with Eric Andre?
Oh, The Viewing.
The Viewing. Does that count?
It's not really a movie.
'Cause it's like a short
It's
film.
like a short film, but sure, why not?
But man, oh man, I hated that so much. It was so bad. Okay. Oh, these next 2 are going to be hard.
What was the first one you said?
Godzilla King
Oh,
of the
God,
Monsters.
of course, yeah. And now we're
The
Viewing.
only movie I've ever walked out of the theater on because I was there with Ethan Davis, shout out to Ethan, he wanted to leave, was Rampage, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
It was just. Was it because he was
it
offended
was
by the
truly-
content, or
Yeah, it was truly horrendous.
That's
It
crazy.
Was, continually nothing happened in that movie. And then, oh man, this is so hard for me to answer. Okay, I need to rack my brain. Just give me 1 second, okay?
What movies do Niall hate? I can think of one. We bring it
Can
up a
ya?
lot on the podcast. It's a
Is it
superhero
also
movie.
2001: A Space Odyssey?
No, it's a superhero movie. It
Superhero movie. Oh, is
is
it?
in the Sonyverse.
Yeah, the Sonyverse.
Any of those
Well,
ones.
I've never seen Morbius, so I don't know. But,
But
we'll
there's
do,
a different
we'll do
one.
Been on
Venom,
your
Venom
number-
2, Let There Be
There
Carnage.
we go.
Truly is so bad.
Yeah.
It makes the first one seem like actually maybe a good movie because of how
I-
bad the second one is.
I hate them both a lot, both
Me
1
too.
and 2. I honestly hate the first one more though. So, yeah. Anyway, that was my question.
I can give you a pre-answer that Craven the Hunter.
Oh, dude,
Ain't
that
no way that movie's
looks
good.
that looks like a stinker. I don't.
It looks like they were like making it at the same time as Morbius. All of the effects
Yeah.
look so similar.
And so bad. It's
And that-
literally
yeah.
him. Let me pull up the poster because it's.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen a
It's some
poster.
of the worst, like kind of CG. Not really even CG. It's just like Photoshop. Let me.
He's got killer abs in it.
Oh, it looks like that terrible Black Panther poster.
There it is.
You remember that poster?
Yeah.
You
Nice.
see that's in focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His abs, like the line between them, is like he's flexing, but he's laid back, and his
He's
chin
in a
is
position that
photoshopped.
it's impossible
Yeah,
to flex in.
and his chin is photoshopped.
Well, for you guys.
I think both his hands
sure.
were down,
Me and
and they
Craven were
they
built
put his
different.
arm up like this,
Oh,
and that's also why
Text-
this skull
text that
looks
to
so
us.
bad. Okay, I will.
Interesting.
because I want to see it in higher def.
Well, it's the same as like a comic book, though. I saw you can look up the
Yeah, there is a
side
comic
by
it's
side.
referencing.
So
but
I
it's
figured
still,
they were still referencing it, but if they edited it so his hands up, that's pretty rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still very silly that that movie, like in the trailer, he gets powers from the blood of a lion, which
Yeah.
is insanity.
It's
Also,
ridiculous. Yeah,
first
just-
the other thing
You
is
get attacked by a
Craven.
lion, and now you're like super guy.
Craven the
Stupid.
Hunter a character who hunts. He's a poacher. Like, I don't know why they would think, oh, that would be a cool antagonist or protagonist for a movie.
A poacher.
So what they've done is they've made it so he's not at all like his character in the comics. He's an anti-hero, quote unquote, which means he's a superhero with barely any moral. He might have some slight moral.
He's a
flaws.
superhero, but there's gonna be blood in this one.
Yeah, and it's rated R,
up.
which is like
Yeah.
okay, so that's another great.
Yeah,
way to
you
make
wanted
sure no one
even less
watches.
people to see this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, restrict it so the only people that are dumb enough to like this, which are children,
Yeah.
won't be able to see it.
will not be there. So I will also join the fun, and I'll
Yeah,
do it.
please
you know,
answer.
right out. So top of my head, I'm gonna do 4 that were not
Boo.
in my top 10. No, I said I didn't look it up, and I mean,
No, I'm just booing you.
Yeah.
oh, just me in
No,
general
I
before
want
even
you
answer.
to.
Like I want you to do it. I'm just booing you as a person.
Yeah.
Oh,
we can
okay,
boo
okay.
you,
Yeah,
but,
that's
like in a supportive way.
very
Boo.
boo,
Yeah,
boo.
boo.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like you're scaring me a little, like whoa, but
Yeah.
because I'm
Woo.
scared, it'll make me more
Yeah.
motivated to answer. Okay, so top 4. I'll start with those. These are 4 that I did not have last time. We're gonna go Grand Budapest Hotel.
Nice.
Nice.
Blade Runner 2049.
Nice. Nerd,
Great.
but nice.
What did you say?
I just said nerd, but nice.
Nerd but nice.
Nerd, but nice.
Scott Pilgrim. I don't think I said that last time. And
Nice.
What We Do in the Shadows.
That's a good answer.
I may have said that one last time, but whatever. It's obscure enough that. And then bottom 4, we're gonna go with
yeah.
Venom 1. Actually, I hate Venom 1 more than Venom 2, but my absolute least favorite of all time is Fantastic. Also a carryover. Another
See, I
one.
just haven't seen it, so I can't.
Oh,
You
put it
can't
on my
quite.
list.
Yeah,
bad,
it's
It's-
truly it's
it
truly
is
bad.
So bad.
I lucked out.
Another one is Fantastic Beasts 2: Crimes of Grindelwald. That one is similarly offensive, like you guys have mentioned, where it's just like, yeah, this movie just sucks. There's not a single redeeming quality about it, and it's just bad. That's my opinion. You can love it if you want to. I don't really care. I hated it though. And then kind of a toss-up. I'm gonna go with Suicide Squad 1 with the OG Suicide Squad, but the Adam Sandler movie Click, I also loathed. I thought that was
Dude, there are a
horrendous.
lot of people who talk about how Click like makes them cry every time.
From
Here's the thing.
what? From how bad
People
it is?
love
From
Click.
being
I don't
forced
know,
to watch
dude.
the movie.
I've never
Click?
seen it, so I don't know. But
I saw
I-
Click when I was a child.
People
and
love
when I
Click.
think back on it, I'm like, it's kind of a fun concept, but I don't remember
No, I love
the
the
movie
concept.
at all.
I
right?
think the movie was so bad though.
sure.
Some people love it though. Like I said, you can like or love or hate whatever you want to. Those are just 4 or 5 movies that I don't like at all, and 4 or 5 that I really do love a lot. So
There you go.
Height.
cool.
Good work.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
great
much.
work.
Likewise.
No s-
Likewise
no
for you
Star
guys.
Wars.
You guys some. Yeah, I know because I did Star Wars last time, so I did
Oh,
do
gotcha.
some little
Yeah,
different.
I didn't put
No Star
Return
Wars.
of the King in there.
Yeah,
Or something.
Yeah.
it's
Man,
on the top
that's
4.
okay.
I mean, my favorite of all time is Fellowship of the Ring, but I did a little bit different.
I was gonna say Return of the King in my lowest 4 just because I couldn't think of a 4th one.
and you
And
hate
Godfather Part 2.
it. Yeah.
Ugh. Well, I said 2001: A Space Odyssey, so pretty much.
Yeah, dude. For some people,
care
that
of
is
that
like the
For John Lennon, he would not agree.
he would not agree.
turned off the
Or
podcast.
C Brown. Shout out to C. Sorry, we
Shout
offend
out
you
to
every
C.
time we trash
love
on
you,
this
though.
one.
We do love you.
Yes.
Whoa,
Not to speak for the others, but I
Guys.
at least. Whoa.
that was so random.
That was
That was so crazy.
So
that was so
random,
European.
raw
So
executed.
European. Are
That was
Europeans
so
are Europeans particularly known for their how random they are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Very
you.
spontaneous.
Yeah, very, very.
Very
they're
spontaneous.
quick too. They're quick to respond to when they're answering questions. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Niall, let's move over to you.
All right. I've got
Randomly.
two questions.
Sure,
I just
yeah,
got to
let's-
figure out which one I'm going to ask because I feel like I should only ask one for now, and then if we have time. You know what? I'll ask one, and we'll save the second one for maybe our post-credits episode.
Oh.
For those
Some
Patreon
questions that didn't make it.
For
For
those
those
Patreon
Patreon
people.
ones who are not.
For those Patreon, maybe just one currently. I haven't checked.
Maybe just one.
But-
Maybe it's more of you. But see, the
Yeah.
thing is, after today, there will be actual content for you to consume.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
there will be
previously,
stuff on there.
has been nothing.
Right.
But soon, there
So,
will be something.
Now we can keep doing this thing that I hate it when other podcasts do, but they say, "Oh, we'll talk about that in the Patreon."
No,
one."
we are not going to do that. We'll
We'll talk about that in the
Well,
post
I just did.
Oh,
So
whoops.
here's my question.
Got him.
My question is as follows, and that is what is about to be said.
Let's hear
Oh
it.
my gosh.
Which is, I can't remember it, so I'm trying to phrase it in my head. Okay, there we go. I got it.
You got it?
Pitch me the worst
Oh, yeah.
best picture winner possible. So I'm not saying an actual movie, but I'm saying what is like give me a concept for a movie, director, actors, plot line, whatever you want to talk about that sounds like it could win best picture but would just be a bad movie and one that you wouldn't enjoy watching.
Yeah. I'll go first because I'm just trying to think of like some of the elements. What makes a best picture winner?
Yep.
Right.
It's got to be
Pretentious, number one.
very pretentious.
Yeah.
So get yourself a director who's pretty artsy, who wants to make some high art,
Cinema.
some cinema. Well, I was gonna say a director, but I actually like that director. So
Yeah, well, it can be a director
That's
you'd
kinda
like,
what's
too,
hard,
though.
yeah.
But like the worst best picture.
The worst best picture, though, doesn't have to be a... Like, the people you like can make
Yeah.
bad movies.
We can also, if we want to, we can kind of just craft this together and all kind of build upon the same answer.
We could do
Or
that.
we can do our
But I
separate
like the
answers. I'm
idea
okay
of
with either.
each doing an individual
Sure.
formulation and then pitch. The problem with
Right.
that is then there is silence as we're thinking. So I'm going to just be talking out loud about as I'm formulating my idea.
mine
Or unless Niall already
is-
has it.
I've got one.
Okay, Niall, you do yours first and let us think.
So my idea, this would have had to have been like in the 2000s. But M. Night Shyamalan directed.
So this movie has already won Best Picture, right?
Right.
This is
Yeah.
a movie that already exists that has won Best Picture, and you're just describing it to us?
What I would say is an M. Night Shyamalan directed film adaptation of Waiting for Godot.
Which is what?
Because
Which is
the
how?
concept of Waiting for Godot, it's a stage play where the idea is it's these characters that are waiting for someone or something called Godot. I think it's a person.
It's like
been
Waiting
a
for
bit.
Guffman.
Yeah, but the idea is that like it's kind of, you know, this existentialist, like, oh, is this person actually coming? What's happening? And the end is very ambiguous of like, okay, did the person actually come or whatever
Did-
it is.
Godot.
What I'm saying is-
Go.
Did Godot go? I don't know.
No.
But I think it would be fun to have M. Night Shyamalan do it, and I feel like it's a total thing that he would do, to just come up with a really resolute ending and try to put a twist onto the ending of something that's just so meant to be ambiguous.
Sure.
And then put this whole twist of like just some dumb thing where he totally jumps the shark. But like taking this, like, it's a high art thing. Waiting for Godot is like the stage thing,
Yeah.
right? And so you take that, just having the name basically puts it in the running for Best Picture.
Yeah, really. 'Cause
But
it's
then
like,
just
it's
totally
so...
ruining it in a way that back then M. Night Shyamalan could just, like, he had the credit to basically just say, yeah, but that's the twist. And then it's like, oh, that's really good, probably. So that's my pitch.
Cool.
I like that one.
I'll,
Yeah, if you're
I'll
ready,
say
you
mine.
go.
Yeah, mine is, again, you're going to take a very artsy director. And so I'm going to go David Lowery.
Oh,
Green
interesting.
Knight.
Yeah, he's good, though.
And, of course, Peter Pan and Wendy.
Of recent fame.
Of fame. And he's going to make... I mean, Green Knight was not my favorite movie ever. It was a bit
Fun.
too artsy and not... Like, it just seemed like a pretty straightforward story that was just told a bit too artsy for me.
I get that.
And so I kind of want him to do the same thing again. But instead, we're going to get a protagonist, like a main character who's in, like, every minority category, right? But still kind
So,
of
like Eternals?
not-
Sure.
So there's 10,
Yeah.
10
No,
protagonists.
there's just one person, but he's deaf and
Blind.
blind. And
His mother is Chinese and his father is like Native American.
Yep,
And he
and-
has like a British accent.
yeah. And he's still,
And the
for some
movie's
reason, played
good.
by Casey Affleck. And he's in a community that, hates him and ostracizes him. But he falls in love
Oh.
with, not... I want to do something very Shape of Water. So not like a fish person, but maybe let's do a centaur. Let's do a full-on
a centaur. That's good.
Because, I mean, that's kind of Green Knight-esque.
Yeah.
So he meets a centaur man who he likes to kiss on the lips. And
Of course.
they are found out by the government. And in the end, in a rainstorm, they, do a Romeo and Juliet, drink poison together. And it's a 3-hour runtime.
Yep.
And really not a lot happens.
And before, as the screen fades to black at the end, in italic text, it just shows like "for Ukraine" or something.
Whatever the hottest
So it's
ticket
like-
item.
Yeah,
is.
whatever hot thing's going on.
Totally
and
unrelated though to the actual movie. It's just
Yeah.
like this is dedicated to that.
It comes out right in that Oscar season, like right when like,
It comes out in November,
it's in
December,
November.
January.
yeah, right at the end of November.
That is
Coming this
It's a
Thanksgiving.
good answer.
no Thanksgiving
Honestly,
is an
I
American
can
holiday.
totally
Yes,
see it.
That's good. I really like that. All right, I've
I can
been
see it with that. I can also see that exact thing, but instead of a centaur, it's just like a 90-year-old woman or something.
a 90-year-old woman
We can't
who is
see or
also a
hear.
centaur.
He doesn't know.
Love that.
It's
The
like
centaur makes it fantastical. a
Yeah,
little.
Yeah,
exactly.
and just-
That's
it
the,
makes it
well,
just
it works
alienates
either way.
more audience.
yeah.
Sure.
I guess both
Alienate
ways.
as much of an audience as you can.
Okay. Let's see. So for mine, we're gonna go. This film stars Daniel Day-Lewis, and it
Of course.
it
It
co-stars.
was a matter of time.
Co-stars The Weeknd, because he's acting now in
Oh,
this show
great.
called The Idol, which is apparently horrendously bad, but like very pretentious, trying to be good. So those are
Love
the
it.
two main co-stars. They are lovers. Daniel Day-Lewis is an alien, so he has come to planet Earth and fallen in love with The Weeknd. It's mostly in black and white, but there are just flares of color here and there, kind of like Schindler's List does. It's in 4:3 aspect ratio the entire time. So again,
Of course.
apparently now Botox is made out of the unused of.
Dude,
Oh.
is that real?
I guess it's real. I read it, but that doesn't mean it's true. And so, through this procedure, The Weeknd finds out that his own was one of the ones he used.
Oh, come on, dude.
Lucas. We've got to just bleep
We'll
it.
bleep it. We'll bleep it. But then this movie was written by Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and it is directed by Vin Diesel.
Directorial debut.
Sure.
The directorial debut, Vin Diesel's feature film debut,
Right.
And it's already won Best Picture, and it's called, I don't know what it's called
Skin
yet.
in the game.
That is exactly what it's called.
Oh,
So if you heard the bleep version of that, then and you're curious, you can just text us or message us or whatever as well. But it's just maybe a little bit too much for prying ears for in the future, where if someone's like, hey, remember about how when Lucas Koford, in 2023 talked about this movie, possibly?
dude. Well,
The fact that-
that's perfect. It feels like one of those movies where it's on the Best Picture list, and your friend's like, "Man, yeah, I'm gonna try to watch all of them," and you could just be like, "You could skip that one."
Yeah, that's the one that you
That's
don't
the one
need.
That's
to
the
see.
one you don't need to watch.
But that's the one that wins, is the thing. So,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Oh, Skin in the Game. It's got Daniel Day-Lewis and The Weeknd. I've heard that's actually pretty interesting. It's like-
Skin in the game one. Oh,
I would skip that if I were you. Yeah, that is
right.
that is partially based on a conversation I was having via a group message with my friends earlier today. So partial
wow.
credit due to other people. I don't know if I want to shout them
Shit.
out though because it's like such a
Yeah,
cursed
yeah, yeah. Don't
idea.
put any names to that.
The other thought that I have is if Taylor Swift ever directs a feature-length
She
film,
is directing a feature-length film.
it's going to be nominated.
No way.
Because
it'd
of
be
her
nominated.
because
Well,
of her
but her short
nightmare
film
cult
wasn't-
following.
Her short film wasn't nominated for best short film, so that gives me hope that her feature will not. But
Yeah.
who knows? We'll see.
I'm just
Well, yeah,
not
she-
excited for that to come out and Letterboxd to have an overwhelming 5-star review on it.
Yeah, no,
just because all of her fans are total zealots and
Yeah.
I could
everything
see
that
it.
she does is perfect.
Having like a
Yeah,
The-
it's
the-
an
the
inverted
curve
bell
is
curve.
bell curve, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be wild.
Yeah.
That movie, I'm sure, will be in the similar vein of just obscene pretension because that's just
Oh, yeah.
how that short film
Well,
was.
that's going to be the fun thing though, because it's going to be super pretentious, but not actually have like the
any
artistry to back
substance,
it up.
Yeah. See,
Just like her short film. Sorry to call it out,
Yeah.
but
this is a
man,
this is
it's
a
so
podcast
pretentious
of
and also just
ostracizing
assumes
people.
it assumes that the audience is so stupid.
It does. It also.
I don't know
assumes-
if you've watched it recently, but it
I
is.
don't think
I
I've
have
ever
seen
seen
it.
it.
It assumes
Dude.
the audience cares at all about her life, and
Well, it assumes that, which most of the audience does.
Most of the people who are
but it's
seeking
like,
it out and
okay,
watching
in the
it do,
middle
yeah.
of this music video, we're gonna stop and have a dialogue scene because I don't think that you're
getting
understanding
it. You're not
visually
quite getting
why
it.
she's upset.
Or the
so there's
song.
gonna
The
be a
song
scene,
should, like-
and guess what? They're gonna say the F word a bunch of times because Taylor's an adult woman, and
edgy
then
now.
and then when the music comes back in, we're just going to express basically exactly what we just expressed in that scene. But in music video form. It's just like it totally ruins the momentum of it because it really feels like somebody watched it and they were like, "Hey, so you know that your fans are like 10-year-old girls, right? They're probably not going to get this."
and
It's just
it's also the
it's
All
so
Too Well
dumb.
music video, right? So it's to the full Taylor's version of All Too
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
which
10
is
and a half minutes.
very
Oh,
long.
gotcha.
And so the song is filling the whole thing, and it's also just about her relationship with Jake Gyllenhaal. And so my review is
Yeah.
just it's going to take a lot more than that to make me hate Jake Gyllenhaal.
Not for
I-
some people. One
For some
time,
people, yeah,
I was
they
with
hated him right after.
I was with a group of people.
'Cause they're like, "Oh, he did."
I won't say the names, but I brought up like, oh, well, we could watch Nightcrawler. We were kind of trying to find kind of a spooky
Yeah,
movie, but
Nightcrawler's
not one that's
great.
like too
Yeah.
scary.
It's
And I was like, we could
amazing.
watch Nightcrawler, and everybody was like, oh, what's that? And I kind of described it a little bit, and everybody was like, oh, that sounds awesome. We should watch it. And one of the girls was like, oh yeah, who's in it? And I was like, Jake Gyllenhaal, and she was immediately not joking, like, no,
No way.
I'm not gonna watch that.
You know what? You should have just said, "Well, you're supposed to not like him."
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
In the movie,
he's
so
it would kind
not
of
a
add to
good
it, right?
dude.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I don't want to support it. And I was
Support
like,
it.
You're like,
Dude.
it's already.
First of all,
It's already
okay,
been made.
I could
Like-
go on. Maybe we'll save the rest of this for
Yeah,
post credits.
post credit.
But I have some stuff
Dude,
to say.
I
about
will
this whole
say as well,
situation,
I'm sure there are
so-
plenty of people who listen to this podcast who genuinely like Taylor Swift. And I will just say about you, you like Taylor Swift too much. You just like her too much. Just chill out a little bit, please. Like, it's just too much.
No, who? Okay,
Like,
who's,
I like a
who's
lot
your
of stuff.
equivalent?
I like
Who's your equivalent?
I like a lot of stuff
right?
a lot.
Dave
Star
Filoni.
Wars, yeah, something like that. But even
There
then,
you go.
I don't drive out of town. I don't spend hundreds, thousands of dollars on plane tickets, concert tickets, outfits, like hotel rooms to be able to see her
Sure.
one time for an hour. I mean, like, if that's what you love, I'm not gonna knock that.
Well,
but I will
not
say,
an hour though. Her show's like 3 hours long.
oh well,
with
that
costume
hey, at
changes
least
and
that's good.
stuff.
At least it's
Yeah, you
And it's
kind of
a
like
per-
she
it's
does
a
what she can.
performance.
I've heard
give
it's a
you-
great
give you your
performance.
money's worth.
Yeah.
I've heard it's awesome.
And
I don't get it.
it's
I don't
like-
get it.
It could
but there are
very
plenty
well
of
be the
things
best
I do.
stadium show
Yeah, that's
that's
very
ever
true.
occurred.
And I'm sure
Right,
there are plenty of things
100%.
I do that you do not understand too, and that's totally fine.
Right.
But let me just still say,
Yeah.
just a little
Anytime
bit, just
someone
chill
is
out, just a
infallible
little bit.
in
Yeah,
your mind, it's not okay.
yeah, exactly. If she is incapable of flaw, but like infallible, which is the definition of that word, then yeah. Exactly. Anyway, I'm
I
sure
have
plenty
one
of
more
people
thing
are going
to
to
say.
hate
Wow.
me and
I
us
have one
now
more thing
because
to
we
say
have
in-
any slight against Taylor Swift. Because
this
they
podcast.
truly are zealots, and that's fine.
I don't want to save this for post
You
credits
just
because
wanna-
I think
yeah.
it's so funny that I want it to be heard.
Yeah.
But I have a friend who is a piano major,
Nice. That's
like-
pretty
Cool.
baller.
Lot of music. He's very talented. He's in a class with other piano majors, and they started a discussion. It was a piano literacy class. And
Learning how to read piano.
the professor asked, who, in your opinion, is the best musician of all time?
Oh.
And there was a girl who said Taylor Swift. And then tried to defend it the whole time. And
This is a
my
major
friend-
of piano
My friend
performance.
likes Taylor Swift.
Yeah, no, I don't
He's-
dislike Taylor
He's a
Swift.
fan of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And he was like, after all of the pieces that you've learned about and all of the, like,
The history
classical
of music,
musicians and history of music, like anything, you think you can even say she's the best songwriter of all time, but the best musician of all time is Taylor Swift. He was just baffled, and he's an arguer.
that is
so
a
he-
bold-
he
oh, that-
stepped up to bat.
that would
and
be-
apparently it was like the rest of class.
That
It was
would
just
be-
the two of them arguing.
That would be an awesome class to sit
Yeah,
in.
I wish
Yeah.
I could.
Let me just clarify. I said I don't dislike Taylor Swift earlier because I hate Taylor Swift. So I just want to make sure. No, I don't. I don't hate Taylor Swift. There are genuinely some Taylor Swift songs that I think are great. But also, here's a fun fact about Taylor Swift that you probably didn't know, and it's true. You can look it up. She is the #1 most polluting human being on the planet. She uses more. She emits more carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, whatever it is from planes. More 100 years worth for an average human being. 100 years worth in 1 year. So 100 times.
How? From what?
Planes,
Private
private jets. That's most of it.
Ugh.
But also just, mansions. If you have more than one home and you're just running them all the time and you're not living in them, it's just emissions for no
Yeah,
reason.
so all that good that you're doing in the Prius that you're driving is totally undone by her.
By her flying everywhere in the world and emitting 100 years worth of
That's
carbon
funny.
emissions
I
in 1
didn't
year.
know that.
You can look it up. There's lots of articles about it. I mean,
shoot
I
her
would
down.
say all celebrities doing that are dumb and bad, and they shouldn't be doing that. But that's a whole other thing that we don't need to get
Dumb
into.
and bad. Celebrities are dumb and bad
for
You
doing
heard it
that.
here first.
For doing that,
Is
not
the
just for being a
official
celebrity.
opinion.
Yeah, official opinion of the podcast. Anyway, yeah, this
All
is
right, so now
quite
that we've
this is quite the
alienated a lot
episode.
of people-
Most people have turned it off.
Maybe we'll
Hello?
win Best Picture.
Are you still?
Maybe, yeah, as
yeah,
long as-
most controversial.
As
No,
long as
we-
it's controversial, a little bit.
We're the epitome right now of 3 white guys with a podcast.
Oh, no doubt.
Just
dude.
saying their
rambling about
opinions.
Taylor Swift. Well, here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. I love to argue stuff.
I think it's
so
fun.
I will.
I think it's
I
a lot
will
of fun.
die on the hill of like Taylor Swift bad or whatever.
Yeah.
Truly, I don't care at all. If you like Taylor Swift,
Yeah,
rock
cool.
on.
Yeah, good
if
for
you
you.
hate
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, rock on. I don't care. I just think it's fun to argue about stuff that doesn't matter. As soon as it's something that does matter, I'm not stepping into the
No
ring.
way. Oh yeah, dude, no shot. Same.
But
Yeah, I love to
with
argue
stuff as
about.
trivial as
entertainment
is Taylor
and
Swift
things like
the
that.
best musician of all time? Sure.
Yeah,
I'll
oh.
mess around with that.
Does Jake
who
Gyllenhaal
cares?
deserve to be hated? I'm gonna
Well,
argue
yeah.
about that because no. But yeah, that's
Anyway.
I agree.
She's the artist of the decade. I think well deserving of it.
She
You know what I
is-
mean?
So this is
she's
another new
today's
opinion
Beatles
where-
in terms of cultural.
No,
impact.
like she
Oh, I see,
won
I see, I see, I
the
see.
award.
Yeah.
Yeah, for artist of the decade. Yeah, and honestly, in the last 10 years, she's
Totally
Yeah.
cranked
honestly.
out hit after hit after hit.
Like,
Look
is
at her
there?
go. Good on her.
And is there another fan base with as much dedication as hers? I truly don't think so.
Just One
Yeah,
Piece,
I
I
was
think.
gonna say yeah, One
One
Piece.
Piece.
That's so funny. I really do think though, in terms of music, it's like you had the Beatles
Mm-hmm.
and Beatlemania, and I don't really think that there's been another thing to the same
to the same
Michael
level.
Jackson.
degree and
Michael
to the same
Jackson, yeah.
magnitude culturally. Michael Jackson, sure,
Michael
that's-
Jackson,
that
but the
counts.
other thing as well is Taylor Swift, more so than like Justin Bieber, has maintained the same level for much
Yeah,
longer.
longevity.
And if nothing
Yeah,
else, she's
time.
getting more and more. Like it's not diminishing
Oh, yeah.
at all, especially with
No,
this tour
like,
and
credit
her
where
whole.
credit's due.
Yeah, so she's successful at what she does.
She's
so you
figured it
can't.
out.
Yeah.
I low key worry that had I been alive in the time of the Beatles, I would be like, chill. They're not that good, you know.
I mean,
Sure.
Come on, they're not that good.
So I
now.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know.
no, Jared's
Yeah,
the
I
one
think
who loves
at this point she's released more. She's definitely released more albums than the Beatles. I think, yeah, just as far as songs go, she's beat the Lennon and McCartney count.
Nice.
Wow.
So she's released more. As far as hits go, I bet it's pretty comparable.
Let me
of
just
how
say
many,
this one last thing.
hits she's written as the Beatles. So
One final thing about Taylor Swift, and then we can move
she's
on.
as good as the Beatles.
In terms of that, yeah.
And the Beatles are
about
as
how
famous
she got her
as Jesus.
success. if
Sorry, go
if you were living in Nashville during Taylor Swift's rise, you would know that her father was extremely wealthy and is still very wealthy. And my friend who was living in Nashville, while she was just like the country star and who was still building fame, her father, what he would do would buy out all the radio stations in Nashville so that only Taylor Swift was blasting. And so my friend who was from Nashville hates her because of that. Because he was like, all we ever heard was Taylor Swift, and we all knew who her dad was, just some wealthy dude who was trying to get her daughter, his daughter,
John Swift.
John. So I don't know what her name was. His daughter famous, and it did work. I mean, money will help a lot with success and fame. So don't be
I
thinking she
suppose-
came from like scraps and sawdust to this international superstar. But
Yeah,
she
I
did
mean,
come.
and that's a point to the Beatles, right?
Yeah.
Four guys from Liverpool.
Because they were truly from scraps and sawdust.
Yeah, just
like us, guys, the
absolutely
three of us.
got-
That's something
Yeah.
I've heard about us is that we're from
The power.
scraps and sawdust.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jared,
The
do you have a
power.
question? Let's move on from Taylor Swift. Otherwise, I could truly keep talking about this woman for way too long.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about. Let's keep the music going though.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay,
My
right on.
question
What
is.
was even the initial question that?
What was even
Niall.
that? That was worst Oscar movie. I said whatever Taylor Swift
Oh yeah,
feature
yeah,
film
and that's
is.
what. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I like this idea of talking about music, and I want to keep that rolling. I want to know, in your opinions, what are the best TV show theme songs,
Ooh.
or at least like title
Title like opening.
sequences? Yeah.
That's a good question.
And you can come up with a couple. I think there's plenty that are good to pull from, but maybe just like one or two. And then a lot of TV show themes are just songs, right? You know,
Just
you've got
lyrics,
plenty,
yeah.
like Friends
Yep.
is
Psych.
just a song. Yeah, Psych. And so I was wondering if there was a song, if you had to pick one song to be your TV show intro, what do you think would be a good song
Dude,
for that?
white and nerdy. It doesn't even take me one half of
White
a
and
second to.
nerdy.
If I had a TV show just about me as a human being, white and nerdy
Yeah.
would be the song because so many things in that song I do, and so or I am, and just
Yeah.
the title "White and Nerdy" is just I am both white and nerdy.
Yeah,
so
that could be the name of your show.
of
without
my
it.
yeah
Like,
oh yeah exactly.
White
And if I
nerdy.
could get Weird Al
White
involved
nerdy.
with that,
That's great.
that would be a dream come true. So
Yeah. So, I think going to the best theme songs. I
Yeah.
just think in terms of cultural application, I've got to go with Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Where
those
it's
two
like-
are great.
The music of those shows has transcended those shows and now like describes a situation and a feeling that you have. There's a whole joke of basically like
playing that
something
song.
bad happens to somebody and you play the Curb theme, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Bum,
like something
bum,
like
bum.
something super like Seinfeldy. You just get like wrapped up deep into a stupid conversation that doesn't matter, and like yeah, you put Seinfeld under it, and immediately it's like oh yeah, we're doing a Seinfeld.
We're
thing
doing
right
a
now.
Seinfeld,
Yeah.
guys.
So in terms of just like cultural transcendence, I think like how do you beat those
Yeah,
two?
oh,
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
there are people who don't even know what Curb Your Enthusiasm is.
Oh, but they've heard the
that
song.
Use that theme
Oh
song.
yeah, dude, it's a really
in the
popular
right
song.
way,
Yeah.
like the right context. So
Yeah, it's a great
I
song.
love it when we all try to do something because the sync is just going to make it sound terrible.
It usually doesn't sound as bad as
yeah,
we
we might think.
think it does. Yeah. I'll say just one is the Game of Thrones like theme in intro.
That would be your
Obviously,
theme song?
it's very just as far
Yeah,
as
cultural, yeah.
my favorite and like one of the best. Not only because of how good the song is, and it is this adventure, and it is kind of ominous in ways where it sets the tone for a really good political drama.
Oh yeah.
But also
Especially
in
season
that
8.
title sequence, it shows the locations that are going to be important to this episode you're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're not going over to Daenerys, it's not jumping over there
Yeah.
to show you that part of Westeros. It's sticking to the houses that are important, the areas. And I'm like, that's so good to refresh your memory every time and to give you kind of spatially, okay, we got, the
Yeah.
north, we're going down to King's Landing, we're going over to Dorne, wherever it is. Love that.
Yeah.
And I think House of the Dragon tried to do a similar thing with the blood, and it's like,
I
but
do
it's
like the opening title and the song, actually. But it's not the same level. I think they're good.
no.
I think it just serves a different purpose, but
Yeah.
I do like it.
So that is definitely one of the ones that I would say is like best of all time. Like the GOAT.
I
answer.
agree. I love that theme song. The fun fact about the planet in which Game of Thrones and Westeros doesn't have a name, and so people jokingly refer to it as Planetos. Like Westeros, they just call it Planetos.
Ghosts and Planetos. It's pretty sick.
That's dope.
If I have to put another one, which I'll
Yeah,
do
do
two.
it. Let's hear it.
The second one I would do is the first intro for Attack on Titan.
I have no clue
so
what that sounds
good.
like.
Yeah, Lucas hasn't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet, but I do know the true name. Please refer to it as Shingeki no Kyojin from here on.
Right.
But
Yes.
I'll allow
Kyojin.
your.
Shingeki no Kyojin.
It's close enough.
Yeah, I think that intro is so just
Good.
and adrenaline fueled,
Yeah.
epic. The scene when like it shows all of this scouts rising above the city and to go into
Yeah.
combat. When you get to the Battle of Trost, that first major
Yeah.
arc, I guess, of the show,
So
and
good.
it's
Got
really
big
like
chills
pushing you
thinking about
forward.
it.
Yeah, me
That
too.
is such a perfect theme
Yeah.
for that show,
Well, and, like,
to get you excited to keep watching.
It's honestly one of the few anime ones that when you say the Attack on Titan theme, it immediately comes to my head. I have the whole thing in my head. I'm like, yeah. There are other ones where I kind of have to think like, oh, how does that one go or something?
Yeah.
Not that one. It's so well composed musically.
Not that year.
To just be like, okay, you got it. Like you know this one.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've never
so
even heard it been played even one time.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Let me
It's sick. It's so good.
let me say that I bet it is good. It sounds cool.
It's great.
I just haven't listened to
It
it.
gets you so hyped.
Yeah,
like
truly. You're like, let's watch the whole season.
it's honestly
right now.
like all of the openings for the other seasons are good. They
Good.
just don't even touch it.
So
not
it's
the
the first
first one.
season. Did they change it every?
Yeah, it's
So-
kind of an anime thing. They
It
they
is.
change
with
themes.
each arc, they'll usually change the opening song as well as just the animation of it to reflect what's going to come in the arc. Which sometimes it's just like spoilers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
low
what's to
key.
come.
I'm
I
like,
hate that.
It's
okay.
like, oh,
it's like what
that
Mission
guy's
Impossible
back.
does.
Like, okay, so Beast Titan, I guess.
Oh, yeah, it is like
it's like
Mission
a
Impossible
huge
does.
part of this. Like, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I hate that when shows and things do that. Or it'll be like at the end of an episode of something. It's like, get ready for the rest of this season. It's like, no, don't show me this. Like, I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
just
next
spoil
week on,
stuff.
I'm like,
for
no,
me."
turn it off, turn it off, turn it
Yeah.
off.
That's
Well, usually anime intros are abstract enough
Yeah,
that like
it's a
or
lot
it'll
more
be like, here are some
representative.
new characters you don't know, and you're like, who are
Yeah.
they? And then
And
when
it'll
they're
show,
introduced,
like-
you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
They're in the
It'll
intro,
show
I
like
saw
a
them.
paper boat floating down a river or something, and you're like, okay, that's just art. And then an episode will happen, and you're like, oh, the paper boat or whatever, you know, like that's a random
Yeah.
example from my brain. That's not an actual thing.
not
but
real. It doesn't.
While
that's
we're
kind of the
talking
vibe.
about anime themes, they're also all like exactly a minute and a half,
Yep.
right? They're long intros, and
that is long.
And so it
And they
feels
are
like you want to
J
skip them,
hyperpop.
right? I think a lot of time you're just you want to just get into the episode because anime starts with like a little recap and then like a minute and a half intro song, and then also when it starts up again, there's maybe a little bit more recap. So it's like you can skip 3 minutes of every episode.
Yeah.
And if you're watching hundreds of episodes, that's a ton of
Oh
time.
yeah, that's hours.
It saves you some
That's
time.
hours that you can skip. But
I did always
there's
skip
also
the Game
part
of
of
Thrones
me
theme
that
song because it's very long as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just think, I mean, with
When
Game
I'm
of
watching a
Thrones, it's
show,
different, but-
I'll watch the theme song the first episode, and then if I'm like binging, I'll skip it on the next ones.
Yeah. I think sometimes, especially with anime, I want to be able to just pick out the song if I hear it somewhere. Because I'm like, yeah, I've seen all of, let's say, Demon Slayer, but I don't recognize this intro. It's like,
Right.
did you even watch the
Yeah.
show if you don't
Well-
recognize the intro?
The changes are also very fun because, say, Lucas with Death Note, the first one
Isn't it just one
is
season,
like
though?
this really like
Dramatic.
this super dramatic like kind of Japanese like emo almost.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Sounds
freaking
awesome.
sweet though. I love that one. But then that one makes a change like kind of not even at an arc.
No.
And is just the most extreme death metal you've ever heard. And it's just like, okay,
It's
randomly in one
jarring.
episode, it's just like, and you're like, whoa, what is going on? It's crazy, and I love it. It's so awesome.
That sounds
Yeah,
crazy.
those intros are great. Okay, for my
Well,
for
I
my
haven't
theme
said
song,
any.
though-
I haven't said any yet.
Well, you're
Let me
taking way
say.
too
I haven't.
long.
No, it's because you keep talking. You gotta let me talk. I'll be quick though.
Spit it out.
So Simpsons, of
out.
course. The Simpsons is an
Oh,
all-timer.
yeah. Yeah,
Very
it's-
iconic.
It's hard to
you know.
That's
compete
like
with
John
Danny
Williams
Elfman.
level of just like recognizable.
What's Danny Elfman?
Like,
So
Yeah.
right.
yeah, a very well-known composer. Also, shout out to Lost, just intro because you didn't say it had to just be music. Lost technically has not really music, but it's just like mysterious noises as the Lost logo like comes across. Pretty cool, pretty iconic.
Also,
Pretty
shout
cool.
out regular show.
Yep, Adventure Time also I think has a great theme song.
Yeah, Adventure Time.
Adventure Time is a
excellent.
But yeah, those are some of my honorable mentions and shout outs and my favorite is Simpsons. So yeah,
Okay, well that
Sounds
sucked.
great.
So I
you
will.
guys said the
No, it
opposite
didn't
things.
suck.
You guys both.
It didn't. It didn't suck. It was good.
Yeah, it
I'm
sucked.
just.
I'm gonna cry. I'm literally crying.
I think for my theme song, I would want it to be "Hypnotized" by Biggie Smalls.
That's good.
I feel like that's
That
such a
is-
good
Oh,
intro song.
That is such a good song.
Wow!
Oh.
It's just like
Oh, yeah,
it's
dude,
it's a
that's-
great intro
that is,
song.
Oh, dude, 90s rap is just such a vibe. It's just such
Yeah.
a bull.
There's a scene in Transformers: Rise of the Beasts where "Hypnotized" starts playing. All of the soundtrack is '90s East Coast rap for the movie, and it's
Does it work?
They like soundtrack wise nailed
Okay.
it. It's
That
so
honestly might be
good.
enough to get me to go watch it.
Yeah, dude, it's sweet. It's sweet. But yeah, they played that song, and I was just like, oh yeah, this belongs in media.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be in more movies and more TV shows because it's so good. So that's my answer.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah, I think my theme song would be like "Fearless" Taylor Swift,
Sure.
or all too well.
Dude, she's
if
so
that was
good.
Man,
She's
I
so
minute-
good.
love her.
A 10-minute intro.
You see, the thing
I
is,
love Taylor
there's
Swift.
another podcast out there with 3 people who just talk about stuff where when Taylor Swift was brought up, they were immediately just like went on as long of a rant, but about how great and
About
good
how
she
amazing
is.
she
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So we're just
Yeah.
balancing.
Yeah,
out
we're
the
just
universe.
balancing, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We're doing the one.
Perfectly
out there.
balanced as all things should be.
Yep. And I'll just say, let me just say, I've been to 4 Weird Al concerts. I don't think you've been to 4 Taylor Swift concerts. So beat that, all you Swifties.
So what are you? Are
so-called
you trying to
Swifties.
say that you're a
Kinda.
Weird Al
I'm
zealot?
just saying I'm better than you.
Because you absolutely
'Cause I'm
are.
just better-
First of all,
Yeah.
I'm just better
Definitely.
about being a fan of my guys that I like. So whatever, no big
you're
deal.
better at being a fan.
Yeah, because I've been to 4.
That's pretty sick, dude.
I've been to 4
That
Weird
is
Al
pretty cool.
concerts, and you've only been to 1 Taylor Swift concert, so it's not that impressive.
You don't know that.
That's true. I don't know that.
You don't know that.
I don't know that. I bet you haven't been to 4 though. I bet you haven't met Taylor Swift. I met Weird Al, so I have a picture with him. I bet you don't have that.
That's pretty cool.
I know. It's,
Are you done or?
I'm done. Sorry, Jared. Go ahead. Take it away. I'll just stop talking now.
I'll throw a real answer real
I
quick.
don't wanna be
Foo
around.
Fighters,
Oh.
"Learn to Fly."
That's a good theme
I think
song.
that's a good
Do
theme.
you mean to tell
intro.
me you used Taylor Swift in in a form of irony? You were joking.
I used it in more of a lie.
You take her name in vain, you heathen, on this holy Sabbath.
Yeah. So, guys,
Is that it? We're
this
ending.
podcast was the most European podcast we've ever done.
Yeah, bro, we are all up in the linen shirts and 2-hour lunches where we sip on our sparkling water in this episode.
Niall's got a
4-hour
football
lunches.
jersey on or something, right?
4-hour
Yeah, but South
lunches
American.
and
Yeah, but still.
yeah, same. Yeah,
Yeah, it's soccer.
South America.
It's soccer.
Is Europe.
They called it soccer before they called it football.
They did,
so
which is
fuck outta
annoying.
here.
Yeah, I don't know why they changed back. I wonder. I wish there was an internet sort of thing
It's
website.
because we invented English in America, and then they were like, "Oh, foot," and so
We
then they took that.
invented English in America.
Don't you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming here to learn all your facts.
Yeah.
Everything we've said is
appreciate
true
you.
and real.
We've been
Yeah.
Man Cave Movie Night.
We have been. And we will continue to be.
Maybe I'll bleep a lot of this episode. Maybe I'll bleep
if we don't get
I'll bleep the
if we don't get individually arsoned
zealots.
by Taylor Swift fans,
Maybe-
then we will
maybe I'll just go
Hey, I
through-
chose my words pretty carefully.
did, yeah,
I
you were-
didn't spread a lot of hate.
Maybe I'll just go through and bleep every time we say Taylor Swift, so they don't know who we're talking about. So they can be
Oh,
like,
that's
"Oh, I
smart.
wonder who it is."
But
They
then,
could
like
probably
we're talking,
Who
you
made
would
a
have to
short
bleep all the
film?
context
Lot of-
about
yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I'd have to bleep Nightcrawler.
I don't know why I just
and
said Jake Gyllenhaal.
Nah,
Put the
yeah.
emphasis on Hall. That was gross. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
He's my favorite actor.
Well, cool, yeah.
Foo Fighters.
Fighters.
Fighters, ladies and gentlemen.
Everyone, thank you so much for listening. We have a Patreon with stuff on it
We
almost.
do.
Almost.
So please get on there. We're
By
gonna
the time
have a
this
post-
comes out, there will be something
Yep,
on it. I
there
think.
we'll
will
have
be.
a post credits talk.
So let me just also say for people who are like, oh man, I don't like that they're going corporate with this Patreon. Like, what's up with that? I just want the same old Man Cave Movie Night. We still gave you an hour-long episode, okay? So we're still gonna
Yeah,
keep
shut up.
giving you hour-long episodes and more extra content and more. So just remember, we're not giving you less. We're just having the option of giving you also more. We're not taking
Yeah, and if you
anything
if
away
you-
from you. We're just letting you
Yeah.
have the possibility of having even more. So before you start
and
to
if you complain about it, send us your addresses and we'll come over and arson you.
Ugh.
No, we won't. But we,
won't do
will.
that.
Oh,
But
you
we will
we
bleep
won't.
that.
will.
We won't do
We
that.
will.
We will.
Don't send us your
But we
addresses.
will.
We'll
Will.
figure
We
out
will.
where
But we
you
will.
live
Give you-
and we'll
we-
arson
We'll
you.
give you your
But we will.
back.
But we will
Eat
see you
that.
on another Man Cave Movie Night Monday.
Bazinga.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.